you ever feel just a little bit too full, or maybe you eat when you're not really hungry, but you're struggling to stop overeating? First, let me start off and say that overeating is very common. However, you might find yourself overeating on a more consistent basis, and constantly overeating can leave you not feeling very physically well, but can also cause unwanted weight gain and make it harder for you to lower your blood pressure by using nutrition and food as medicine. Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you kind of some of the underlying reasons as to why you might be overeating, and also what you can kind of put into practice today to ensure that you're creating those healthy eating habits and you're able to sustain them 365 days a year, on top of, using your nutrition in order to address and help lower your blood pressure naturally. If we're meeting for the first time, hi, my name is Tessa. I'm a licensed pharmacist as well as a NASM certified nutrition coach and personal trainer. I'm also the creator of Beating High Blood Pressure, and that is my 12-month membership course and coaching program. Beating High Blood Pressure empowers people with high blood pressure to improve their condition using nutrition and other lifestyle habits instead of taking medication, so you can reduce the risk of heart disease, lose weight, and improve the quality of life and your overall health. Now, there are a few common reasons as to why people tend to overeat, and while I go through kind of these reasons, try to see if any of these reasons ring true for you, or you can identify with any of these reasons as to why you might be overeating. I'm also going to share a common mistake people make when they try to stop overeating, and additionally 3 practices to do instead. So one of the simplest reasons that you might be overeating is because you're distracted while you're eating, and this is so incredibly common. When you're distracted and eating or mindlessly eating, you aren't fully present to the experience or enjoying your food. It also makes it more difficult to notice kind of where your hunger levels are at and how full you actually are. This often happens when you're on your phone while eating, watching TV, at your desk, driving, running from one task to the next, overthinking, or really doing anything while you're eating instead of just enjoying the food that you have in front of you. When you slow down and remove kind of all of these distractions from your meals, you're able to consciously experience and be present with your food in a way that allows you to enjoy the taste, the smell, how it makes you feel, and all of those things that really make food enjoyable. When you aren't distracted, you can also listen to your hunger cues and how your body feels both before, during, and after your meal. And this will help you tremendously kind of reduce the tendency of overeating. Now, another common reason is emotional eating. So emotions like boredom, stress, anxiety are something that people might experience on a regular basis. And a lot of people deal with these emotions by kind of reaching for the snacks in the evening while watching TV, or getting home after a really long and stressful day at work and feeling called to eat or overeat on certain foods. And the third thing that can trigger overeating is environmental triggers and social situations. Some examples might be, going to the movie theater and, buying those big orders of popcorn and those little candies, or every single time you kind of walk by the office break room, you go in and grab a little snack or grab a candy from the bowl. It's those situations or environments that we're put in that make it really challenging for us to remember to kind of check in with ourselves and our hunger cues, just to see if we really are hungry, or if it's kind of one of those external factors that is making us kind of want to eat. So I'm curious, can you think of an emotional, environmental, or social trigger that you realize now may be the cause as to why you overeat? Another factor that contributes to overeating is that you have foods that you consider off limits. If you've ever been on a diet before, this might sound a really familiar situation, but say you go out to eat, or say you're at a social gathering and you're offered foods, and normally you aren't supposed to have those foods, or they're bad foods considered on your diet. And in those social situations, because those foods are present, this makes you increasingly more kind of like hyper aware or hypersensitive to those foods, and you just are constantly focusing on those foods in those situations. And right, like we've all been there. So when you're faced with these situations with these different foods, it may cause you to want to overindulge in that food even more because you don't know the next time that you're gonna have it. So to kind of recap there, the four most common causes of overeating are distracted eating, emotional eating, environmental triggers, and having those off-limits food. Now, what some people do when they experience overeating is to try to stop it or avoid those foods or avoid those situations fully. And maybe you've done some things and some of those things have worked for you in the past. Like if you find yourself overeating on chips, you just decide that you're never gonna buy those chips again. But avoiding certain foods or avoiding certain situations doesn't solve the root cause of that overeating problem. On top of it, it can kind of bring up a lot of emotions like guilt or shame and even sadness and depression for feeling like you're out of control when you do decide to kind of binge on or overeat on some of those foods. And you don't want to separate yourself from things you enjoy or experiences that you enjoy with your friends or family members or partners, because avoiding situations or certain foods, that really does encourage unhealthy eating behaviors, and if left unresolved, over time it could lead to disordered eating patterns. So it's really important that you give yourself self-compassion and patience when it comes to kind of exploring your root cause and the triggers of what is causing you specifically to overeat. So what are kind of 1 to 3 ways that you can cope with the stress, anxiety, pressure, and address it with kind of intentional action versus using food? Now, I have specific lessons on this in my Beating High Blood Pressure program that really kind of dive deep into how to create healthy eating habits to lower your blood pressure. But I want to share a few simple tips and tricks with you right now. The first thing is to always check in with your hunger cues and ask yourself, like, how hungry are you on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being very, very full and 10 being very hungry. This practice will help you tune into your body and really understand if you're truly hungry or if there is some sort of external factor that's making you want to reach for that food, like boredom or stress. Second is to eat at the table with no devices. And I know this is a hard one for some people to kind of get into the habit, but try to remove all of the distractions so that you can be really fully present with food that you're gonna eat. This will also help you enjoy your food so much more, and then you'll also be able to check in with your hunger cues as you eat. So try your hardest to not watch TV or scroll on your phone while you work. Try not to eat at your desk when you're kind of stressed out at work. Try to remove all those distractions and just be present with your meal. And the third tip is to keep a reflective food journal. Now, a food journal doesn't mean you have to be tracking calories in the specific foods that you're eating, but really what it does is help identify what you might be overeating on, and also give you some great insight into your just general eating habits and your behaviors. And down below in the video description, there's a link there that you can use to download my free guide where I share kind of simple yet effective food journal exercises to help individuals kind of stop overeating. Now, these types of practices, they add up and they help you build awareness into your eating habits. And that awareness helps you make those tiny little adjustments to the way that you're eating that put you kind of back in the right path and the right focus for utilizing your nutrition in order to lower your blood pressure. So now that you know a few common causes of overeating and a few tips that you can start implementing today right away, I want you to share with me right now in the comments, which practice is kind of responding to you and which one you're gonna give a try this week or even right today. Also, if you like this video and you found it helpful, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell notification so you're notified each and every time I upload a video. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Beating High Blood Pressure if you want more daily tips and tricks on how to eat, exercise, and create healthy habits in order to lower your blood pressure. Thank you so much again for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks again for watching, and remember that together we can beat high blood pressure.